sell 30 houses, whichever. Some people work in units, some people work in volume. I feel like since everybody should kind of know what their monthly household expenses, what they need to make to be happy in life, I feel like we should start there. For instance, let's work with round numbers. Let's say I need to net $120,000 a year, right? My monthly expenses, let's say, comes to about $10,000. So I'm going to start here. If I need to net $120,000, I'm going to have to add in my expenses to that. So that's taxes. Can you do 25% of 120,000? So your taxes, if you're estimating your taxes, 30. If you're estimating your taxes, it should always be about 20 to 25% of your income, of your gross income. Okay. And you can pay that out quarterly, monthly, annually, whichever you prefer. So this is going to be my taxes. And this is my net income, meaning after all expenses, that's what I need to have. So plus taxes, my cost of doing business, which is really easy at KW because it's just your cap, 21,000, right? That's going to be your commission expense. So cost of sale. Then you're going to add in, you know, your regular monthly expenses for your business. Let's just say it's 10% of your growth. Let's just say you put in, I don't know, $1,000 a month. That's going to be high for you guys. Let's just say $500 a month. So 6,000 in total expenses, signage, marketing, whatever for the whole year, 6,000. That's about $500 a month. All right. So that's going to be 150, 167, 177, right? 20, 50, 60, yep. So that means I need to gross, all the money I need to bring in has to be about 177,000. Okay. So the whole reason, yeah.
Real quick, that 6K number, that's expensive.
That's like expenses I choose to extend, like dry cleaning, anything. So about $500 a month. If you buy Zillow leads, if you add up all your open houses, your photography, whatever. And that number can fluctuate. Only you guys will know those numbers. And the whole reason we're doing this exercise is if we don't know what we need to make, we don't know how many appointments we need to put on our calendar, right? If you're just like, I want to sell 48 houses this year, and I'm just going to take appointments whenever, whatever, there's no structure there, there's no focus. So if, what's average commission nowadays? I usually say about $6,000, 7,200. Okay. So if I'm going to take all the money I need to make, and let's say it's going to be, my income is solely real estate. Okay. So if you have other income, like I have some rentals, so that's passive income, anything like that. You can take those other incomes off of your gross number to tell you what you need to make from real estate activities. So 177 divided by the average commission is 7,200, right?
25.
24, 25. So I always round up. So that gives me 25 sales that I need to do in 1 year. That just took an insurmountable goal and made it really focused and easy. 2 houses a year or 2 houses a month. Boom, done. I'll make my money, right? So it doesn't seem as scary. So now if I need to do 2 sales a month and I'm a new agent, my conversion's not that great yet. I probably, let's say, have a 50% conversion on buyers, and I'm just throwing out numbers. So let's say I have a 50% conversion rate, meaning of every agent I meet, let's say I meet, or I think of agents, in every buyer I consult with, let's say 50% of them get to the closing table, meaning we get through pre-qual, we get through all the things, right? That means if I have to have 25 buyers, that I'm going to have double that in potential buyers, right? Does that make sense? We all follow. So each sale is 1 buyer I need to close. And if I'm only closing half of the buyers I'm working with, that means throughout the year, I need to be working with 50 buyers, right? Or sellers, whatever.
That's a really good conversion rate, by the way.
What's it? I see, I don't know.
It's
My
probably
conversion rate is killer.
probably like 1 in 5 right now.
Well, okay, so I'm talking about buyers that you've like met, got pre-qualified, and they're like working with you, like you're showing them homes.
You have ABA.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So does that make it make more sense, or we can take it down?
Yeah, no, I'd say that's close. Once I have a signed agreement and I have said that I'm working with them, I put the conversion rate a lot higher.
Yeah, like you are actively
Yeah.
their person they call for every house that they're looking at.
Yeah.
To get them to that rate, you're gonna have to talk to a lot more people, because everybody's like, oh yeah, maybe I'll buy, and then they can't get pre-qualified or this or that, this and that. But if your goal is to have 50 true clients throughout the year, you'll hit 25 sales if they're true clients, whether they're sellers or buyers. So how many appointments? So can you do 50 divided by 12?
4.16.
So that means 4 true clients a month. So that means you probably need to be going on 10 buyer consults, right? Would you think? You need to talk to 10 potential buyers or sellers a month if you're going to end up with 4 good quality ones a month. So that sounds scary, right? Because how do we get to that? Well, so if you take 10 and divide it by 4, it's gonna be like 3.5 or something.
2.5.
2.5. So that's 2.5 a week. 2.5 true meetings with good clients a week. So I like to work off of 2 available appointment slots a day, giving you 10 opportunities a week that you put people in appointments like, hey, you want to talk about buying a house? You're thinking about investing? Oh, cool. Here, I can get with you Tuesday at this time. You do 10 quality buyer consults or listing presentations or any of that a week. You'll end up with 2.5 that are quality. You'll end up with 4 a month. You'll end up with 50 potential clients, and you'll have half of them fall out, and you'll end up with 25 sales. Does that make sense, kind of? It's just kind of extrapolating how much loss you're gonna have along the way, because we think, oh, well, I only need to sell 2 houses a month. I'll just talk to 2 people a month and sell them a house. And it just doesn't work that way. You have fallout. And if you anticipate the fallout, then it doesn't matter. You're like, okay, you're gone. I just need 2. So now I got 8 more to talk to this week, right? Yes.
Well, with the fallout, and that's where having your database and your CRM set up properly, because your fallout only falls back into your CRM, right? So
There
that's
is
where
no
we talked
such thing
about-
as a dead lead.
Yeah,
No such thing as a dead lead. I, at any given time of my life, can go from, I'm not buying, I'm not moving. Oh my God, that's a good deal. I should go buy that, literally all the time. And there are people like that, that if it's a good enough deal, they are always buyers. Or we just bought a house, we're so in love, it's awesome. Oh, we're getting a divorce. I need to list this house and sell it. So they were not active until now they are. Life happens every day. And especially nowadays, people are not as stuck to their household address, location, and all of that. So they can turn around and become active clients really quick. So now that we have kind of a goal, I'm shooting for 10 appointments a week, 40 appointments a month. So how do we set that up in a realistic, I'm gonna need Google Calendar pulled up. How do we set that up in a realistic time frame? So every single person's time blocking is gonna look different. If you take this document here, you fill in all your non-negotiable activities each week, right? So like I have 4 kids. So when school's in, from about 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, non-negotiable. It's the only time I get with my kids. I'm just not working during that time. My phone's on silent. I'm with the family. If you have therapy that you go to, if you have Sundays or church days, whatever your things are, let's be realistic. Because if you set up a calendar that you're just like, well, they told me I have to lead gen from 9 to 11 every day. I am never lead genning for 2 hours straight every single day. I will kill myself. So why would I set my calendar up for that? Because it's not realistic. I'm not going to be able to do that. So then every day I'm looking at failed, I failed. The gym has been on my calendar for like 6 years and I've never gone. And every day I'm like getting fatter, like not feeling good. So don't set yourself up for failure. If you log into my Google.
okay, I was gonna say, I have mine up, but mine's got a lot of stuff on it, so I didn't know if you wanted to.
I'll show you how scary my calendar is.
Okay, cool.
So, so any of your non-negotiables, just jot them in. Like I have extras of these. It can be messy, it can be whatever. You have to pick the kids up from daycare at this time every day. Cool, put it on your calendar. So all your big rocks.
It's not there.
Hold on.
phone to silent. Should add that to my calendar.
I turn my phone to silent. Guys, guess what? Here's a fun fact. My phone is on silent every day, all day. Here's why and how. I have potentially at any given time 400 agents and all of their clients that want to reach out and talk to me about stuff. So if I had my phone on, if the noise was on, it would just go off constantly. Anytime I pick up my phone, I have about 35 mixed text messages, like phone calls, all the things. So I have just trained myself to be fully available when I'm with someone. And then the minute I'm not, 5 minutes, speed text answer, and on my voicemail, I say, look, I keep my, whatever I say, but at the end I say, if you need immediate response, I do much better with texting or emailing. Because if you get on the phone with someone, especially an agent, it turns into a 35-minute call for a 5-second question because they have to tell you everything. Well, your clients are the same way. I wore a blue shirt and then this happened and then, oh my God. And so it limits your productivity. And I can tell you, no one's ever been insulted by it. Like I say in my message, hey, I check my voicemails every evening. If you need a faster response, please text and I can text you immediately. And then they'll leave me a voicemail and they'll say 911. Cool, I know to call you right now, whatever. I've never had an agent complain that I'm not reachable. And it's on silent all the time. But one piece of advice I can tell you, for your sanity, put it on silent after 9 o'clock at night. Warn your clients, because guess what, guys? Nothing in real estate is happening past 9 o'clock at night. Right? So you tell your people, I am here for you all the time. My business hours do end at 9 o'clock at night. If doctors, lawyers, everyone can have closed hours, why can't you? That way you can say, but if you need to reach me after those hours, my phone's on silent, just text, just call, just know I won't respond until 8 a.m. the next morning. Right? You run your business. Oh, and by the way, I like to go to church and spend Sundays with my kids. So I love working with you. Will you have a problem with that? Oh, God, no. Great. So if you reach out to me on Sunday, may I have your permission to call you back on Monday morning? Yeah, great. So then when they call you Sunday and they yell at you Monday morning when you're calling them back, remember that time I talked to you about how Sundays are my family day? You know, like I had people blowing up my phone last night, 7:30, like triple calling me. And I was like, my apologies, but I'm making dinner for my family. I know, kind of late for dinner, but it was true. And can I call you after I get the little ones to bed? They instantly feel like jerks. And they're like, oh my God, no, call me tomorrow morning. Great, I'll call you at 8:30. You have to set the expectations and run your business like a business. You can't call a doctor's office and say, I need you to meet me at this address in 10 minutes. Or I'm firing you. Like, it's just not how it works. So the calmer and more confident you value yourself and speak about yourself, they will do the same. And if they're not going to do that, don't work with them. It's not worth it. Phone. Can you go grab my phone off my desk, pretty please? Because I've got my password saved in there. So, but it's all about the expectation up front, and then whatever the password is, I'll give it to you. And so when I start working with someone, when I was new into real estate, I still had 2 little ones, and my husband at the time wasn't really cool with me working outside of like the house ever. So I had to be really specific. Thank you, baby. When I worked with clients. So when we'd start working together, I would say, okay, excellent. So just so you know, this is how I kind of do things. I'm available to you like all day, every day. However, I only do showings between this hours and this hours, Monday through Friday. I do any open houses for my sellers all day Saturday. We can go look at houses, whatever. And then I do take 1 day off a week. I do take Sundays. Will that work for you? Can we work together? Okay, great. Because you only can see houses past 6 o'clock in the evening because you work all day. Perfect. Our schedules align. We're cool. But if they're going to be calling you at noon every day, you're never going to be able to work with them. So it's clear expectations on both sides. Then also, I like to tell them, I think it's going to be this one, capital J. Also, I like to tell them, okay, great. I prefer to communicate via text message. Also email. How do you prefer to be communicated? Because some people get really mad when you won't pick up their call because they want to talk. Some people get mad when you call them. They're like, stop calling me. I just want a text message. So just set that up front, right? And then you'll know, okay, when I communicate with you, this is the style in which you like to be communicated. Perfect. We can do that. Did it let me in?
I think so.
Capital J-A-P-E-D-O 2022.
Caps lock was on.
We're in, okay. So now if we pull up my Google, why is it all pink? That's weird. I like it though.
Oh, man, it is just doing its own thing over here.
Yeah, I hate this computer. And because I'm standing right over your shoulder.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so fun fact. This is my normal calendar. I have about 12 people that have access to it. So when you have admins or TCs or ISAs that work with you, anybody who needs to set appointments for you, you'll just share access with your calendar with them. You can give them viewing rights, editing rights, whatever. And then the other thing you do is sync it to your phone. So at any given time, and you do that very easily on your phone, you just Google Gmail and then, or open the Gmail app and then sync, put in the email address, password, it syncs. So now my calendar on here just pulls up my day's view of that. So every morning I wake up, I'm like, okay, that's what my day looks like today. Awesome. And people can change it and modify it. It's all great. I have a couple different roles I'm doing right now, and then I have family. So I have like 3 different calendars. Sorry, just gonna lean over you. So like when I was a team leader, I had my team leader calendar and it was very different. And then I got director of growth, so I add some more stuff in. And then I have like an appointments calendar for like family stuff. So anything you don't want your people to see, just put it on another little calendar and you just don't share that one with them, right? Okay. So my calendar's all crazy now because I'm not a team leader anymore, or I am, but it's just different. But what I always did was set it up with lead gen time in the morning for the people that can do that, right? So I set it up as like a basic little calendar just like this. And I think I have a test calendar in here. Can I see the mouse again?
Yeah, put it over there.
Let's see. Let's just do, okay, Tim Murray, he might have his, he's the team leader of Brandon now. Let's see how his is. Okay. His has prospecting. His is not as time blocked as mine.
If you go to mine and then go, I'll show you mine back in February is what we were using before you got your upload.
Yeah, pull that up.
That's all over
So
there.
I give people this as a framework in which to start from. So like you put on your big blocks, like gym, whatever, you color code it to one thing that you're going to always use as like family stuff. So like for me, family stuff is always going to be gray. Anything where I'm meeting with a potential client is always going to be green because it means money. And then always put a lunch break on there and all this stuff. So then you start filling in the big rocks, the gray family stuff or appointments or whatever you do. Then you're left with like some weird, like, okay, let's just do this. This is going to be better because I don't have a normal one to go from. Let's just create one really quick and you guys will understand what I'm talking about. So I'm going to say add a calendar.
Oh, good, add it on mine. Because then I can have it.
All right, so I created a new calendar. I'm going to call this
Josh's new calendar.
Josh's new calendar. Okay, so Josh,
Yes.
what kind of big rocks do you have during the week that are going to keep you from work time? So like, I know you have a daughter. I know she does a lot of different things, dance and all this stuff. So what are the hours that you're just not going to be able to work?
I cannot work before 8 AM and I cannot work after 6 PM now is my thing. 6 PM is like my cutoff because typically, but there's only certain days that 6 PM would be the cutoff. So does
What
that
days?
matter?
What days?
Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Monday, Thursday, Friday. Can't work past 6.
Can't work best.
Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to create a new event Monday at 6. I'm going to call it end workday, whatever. Okay, what color do you want this to be?
Make that red. I'd like that to be non-negotiable.
Okay,
Red is my non-negotiable color.
see here where it says do not repeat. I'm going to say custom. I'm going to say Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, you said, right? Okay, now I'm going to save it. Now it automatically puts that on my calendar. Okay, and it's just gonna recur every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, forever.
Nice.
Okay? When do you start work? What time do you start?
Oh,
What ideally, if you were controlling your
8.
business? 8 a.m. And what do you do at 8 a.m.?
5 handwritten cards.
Okay? And you do that every day?
Those days, yes. It is intended to be done every day.
All right, so that's what he does for some of his lead generation. So what color do we want lead gen?
Legion, well, so for me, my colors are different. I have red as my non-negotiable color. That means this cannot be broken.
Okay,
So
is this
that's-
non-negotiable
Yeah,
for you?
because
Okay,
handwritten cards are so simple. In my mind, that is a non-negotiable. I do that every day.
and then we're just selecting it for every day during the week. And would you say you need an hour for that?
About 30 minutes is about what I use.
I always like to put an hour because 30 minutes
Or-
doesn't look, it doesn't show up as nice, and
yeah, that's
it
fine.
gives you a little prep time there as well. All right. What would be your next activity Monday through Friday after 9 o'clock?
Well, on Mondays, I have my coaching call at 8:30.
Let's assume that this is just your real estate business.
Oh, just my real estate business. Okay, so after that, I would be going through my database. My new leads from overnight would be done at 8, well, whenever that's done, so 9 a.m.
So lead follow-up.
So old lead follower, new lead follower.
And this, for other people, it could be database touching, right? Like, okay, going through your phone, going through your emails, your social media, whatever, and picking out, for instance, I tell people, if you need to reach, what number did we have? 10 people, you need to book 10 appointments. That means you probably need to reach out to about, you could look at it two different ways, probably 5 or 6 people from your sphere daily, or you could say you can't stop reaching out until you have 10 appointments. You can look at it either way. But you do have to have some kind of goal there. So lead follow-up, how much time do you need for that? An hour?
Yep.
What color is that?
We can make that blue, it's fine.
Blue. And that's gonna be Monday through Friday?
Monday through Thursday. My Fridays are a little different.
Okay, any other big rocks that are through your week? You just said your Fridays are pretty, hectic, because why?
No, my Fridays are a little different. So Friday mornings, typically I take, when it's school time, I'm the one that takes her to school on Fridays.
Okay.
And typically I spend Friday mornings until 10 with my wife. We'll do
Okay.
breakfast or something like that.
So family time.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of lead gen do you do for during the day, and what times do you do it?
So right after lead follow-up is when I would roll right into my new business, which would be prospecting time.
Okay.
And so I would do that for an hour and a half usually.
Okay.
Um,
How many days a week do you actually do that for an hour and a half? Let's be real. One?
Yeah, I mean, in that block, or how many days a week do I do an
Yeah,
hour and a half? of
in that block,
Because that's what's hard, is I prospect for an hour and a half day, but it ends up getting thrown in during, times that it just fits. Whereas if I were to do it, yes, I think.
that's
those
the best
days-
time.
Yeah, Monday through Thursday, before noon, you can work on your business.
What color do you make that?
Well, what do you think? It should be blue
Green,
too, yeah?
because it brings money.
Okay, I'm about it.
All right, and then this is not gonna be every weekday, because you said Fridays are different, so
Right, so it's Monday.
Monday through Thursday. Now, guys, I have people that are like, I'm not a morning person. I get the kids to school, I get home, I go to the gym. I'm not done doing my morning stuff till 11. Okay, there is nothing that says you have to lead gen from 9 to 11. I am terrible in the afternoons because I get up really early. I'm such a morning person, and yet I think it's rude to call anybody at 8:30 in the morning about business. So I like 9 o'clock, but I can only keep my focus for like probably 45 minutes. So I'll do 45 minutes there. I might do 45 minutes at 1 o'clock, and I will spread it, and that's okay, because doing it for 45 minutes here, half an hour there, even if it's on, it has to be on your calendar, but at least you're doing it. Because if it's on your calendar in the wrong place and it's not realistic for you, you just won't do it. So 45 minutes as opposed to 0 is
Yeah.
perfectly acceptable to me.
Well, that's my prospect. What I do is I put in the description on mine. It'll have like the different stuff that I'll do during that. Because that's not just making calls. That would be like, that would also be like if somebody is, I don't know, if I have an event coming up and I need to.
Sure, yeah, just touching people, talking to people, whatever it is.
My DTD2 gets done during that time.
The 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock where he has written cards, I like to have plan your day. Plan my lead gen, plan my day. Because if I'm gonna sit down and lead gen, here's what people do. They're like, all right, I'm gonna lead generate, don't open Facebook. Okay, I can do this, I can do this. Who am I gonna call? Well, let me figure out who I'm gonna call. Cool, now I've got a list of people to call. Cool, check my text messages. Okay, now I'm half an hour in and I've done nothing, right? So then they're like, okay, I'm gonna call someone. Hey, so blah, 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 great conversation, yada, yada. Yeah, I could do a CMA for you. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, bye. All right, now I need to do a CMA.
Yeah.
And they've called one person and they're doing a CMA that may or may not go anywhere. So ADD, so totally get it, but here's what you do. You close down your email, like close it, because if you see it ticking away, you can hear it when you're on the phone with me. If I'm sitting in front of my email, because it just goes, and I start to get anxiety. I'm like, oh God, I got to answer that. What do you need? And so it's just not focused, right? So close down your email, put on some music that makes you happy. I like to pace. I'm better when I'm walking and talking. Turn your cell phone or whatever other phones that are going to distract you, turn them over, have a notepad. So now your lead and take your time in the morning, time block it 8:30 to 9 for planning who you're going to call. I'm going to call my database, anyone in my phone with the last name starting from A to D, right? And I'm going to call them because it's National Homeownership Month. Cool, let me do that. Or I'm going to call them because 4th of July is coming up. I want to invite them to a block party. I'm going to call them just to check. And you can have one topic that you are calling every single person for, and that makes it easy. If you're like, okay, I'm going to call them to see how summer's going so far. Whatever, just a care call, checking in on you, just calling people on my phone, making sure everyone's doing good, blah, blah, blah. So then I have my list, I have my notepad, and I'm calling them. And I am being 100% focused on my calls, genuinely just asking how they're doing. Then asking them if, they have any needs in real estate, the market's changing. Did you have any questions I can answer for you? Also, do you have anybody who might be looking to, forward, to invest in real estate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, oh, really? You're curious about getting a CMA done? Okay, great. I have a couple more calls to make, but then I'll do your CMA a little bit later today and I'll email that to you. And then if you'd like, I can call and explain it to you. Would that be great? Awesome. Okay, John Smith, CMA, call after. Next call. And you go down and you do all your calls. And then you have an hour and a half or 2 hours, however long you think you need, after your lead gen time that says, like, do the things you just promised to do, right? Do your lead gen follow-ups. So now I need to do a CMA for him. I told them I'd send them an email with some searches that they're looking for. Okay, they have a friend who's looking for a rental. I said I'd call them, and you go and you do all the things, okay? Because people don't need that instant gratification that we as realtors think they need. We're like, you said you need a CMA? I'm doing it now. Like, it's crazy. They can wait an hour as long as you tell them, hey, I'm going to email you in a few hours with that, okay? So you set that expectation. Give yourself a window that says, you're not having lunch anymore, Josh.
Oh, that's all right.
You're going to have lead gen follow-up. Because that's the part that takes us away from everything. We get excited as agents when there's a shiny thing and we run to it and we forget everything else and all our structure goes out the window. So lead gen follow-up.
We talked about DTD2 before as well, which if you're looking at making your list of who to call, DTD2 is a great place to start. Keller Williams has really been pushing that, and it'll help you hit your whole database with the letters. Like you said, my last week 1 is A and W, week 2 is B and O, and then the thing you're collecting each week is pick a letter. So each week, your family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So each week you say, okay, this week, everybody I talk to on my DTD2 list, I'm getting their recreation item. So I'm gonna find out what everybody likes to do.
Can you break this down for them so they know what you're talking about?
Yeah, so DTD2 is do the database too. So it splits everything up. I'll just pull it up when I'll pull up the thing. but it splits the whole database up into groups based off of the popularity of last names.
Just so you guys know, when you hear database, sphere of influence, blah, 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 it's so important. And we're all like, yeah, but I'm not gonna bother my friends and family with all this stuff. Here's the reality. I've worked with top mega agents, 26 to $35 million producers. I coached and consulted with them. We did their marketing, their branding. At the end of every year, we looked at all of their clients from that year and looked where that business came from. So we could put a value to all of our marketing materials and what worked, what didn't. 80% of everyone's business always came from their database. Referrals. Every time. You can throw money at everything. You can buy leads, you can do this and that. But the biggest return on investment will always be pouring into your database. And your database might be 0 right now. But you have friends, you have families. If you have kids, kids are great. You go to the park, oh, you made a friend, cool. Hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm in real estate. Oh, what's your name? Easy, right? They're now in your database. If your kids have teachers at school, go bring the teachers donuts.
Yeah.
If you have no one, like I did when I got here, I love first responders, police, firefighters, all that. I just go into the station. Hey guys, I don't know anybody. I'm in real estate. Tell your friends, donuts. Hey, I'll bring you lunch next week. Just cheap little things, but you have to be consistent. That's called grassroots marketing. You keep doing it every week. Everybody has a thing. We all have people that we talk to, whether it's church or whatever. Just be consistent about it, right? Or open houses. And everybody who signs in at the open house, your name gets put in a drawing for a gift card. So make sure you put your real number and then they're in your database, right? So you can build a database with nothing. So if you're like, I got no one right now, then that's your first job, build a database.
Yeah, we're doing an exercise right now in our Lead Gen 101 is the people that you talk to on a weekly basis. So if you really feel like you don't have anybody in your sphere, then why don't you take a little notebook and every time you talk to somebody throughout the day, you write their name down. And at the end of the day, if you just want to do it for one day, you'll see, holy crap, I've talked to 50 people today. If you do it for a week, you'll see, holy crap, I've talked to this person at this place 4 times this week. And I would have never put them in a list of my sphere. If I give you a paper and say, put your sphere down, you're going to give me your brothers, cousins, sisters, uncles, your best friends, your people you haven't talked to in 10 years, or people you went to high school with. That's not your sphere, really. Your sphere is the barista that makes your coffee every morning at Starbucks is your sphere, right? Because you talk to him every day. So that's how we did it is, hey, just take a piece of paper. If you really don't think you have anybody, then challenge yourself and write it down. And you'll show yourself real stinking quick that you talk to a lot of people.
The nurses and office staff at your doctor's office, your dentist office, like no one shows them enough love. You go in there, hey ladies, can I leave some business cards? And also, I brought you guys chocolate, anything like that. It does not have to be someone you've known for a long time and done business with. So, okay, so
here's DTD2. So it groups them up as you can see here. ANW is week 1, BNE is week 2, DNO is week 3, and then it gives you the single letter. So the single letter is the text. So the AW is the call, the single letter is the text, okay? So, or you can make the single letter the Facebook post that you do, whatever. So grouping would be, I'm gonna call everybody this week from January 3rd to January 10th whose last name in my database starts with A or W. So that's my list this week. Every time it's Lead Gen time, I'm calling them. And then the letter, whether you do, I'm texting everybody with the last name in, a video text message of me this week that says, hey, I was thinking about you, no pressure to respond right away. I just wanted you to know you crossed my mind. And you send that out, right? And you send that to everybody whose last name starts with N. And so then at the end of, what is this? January to March, what is that, 12 weeks? You've hit your entire database because that's all the letters. And then you start over.
here's a fun little tidbit to that I literally just realized. So one of our lenders at my old office, Jen Martinez, guarantee great woman.
Seen her on a billboard or
Oh yeah, she's on a billboard. She has a lot of people she has to stay in touch with, right? Every couple weeks, every 3 weeks or so, she sends me a text that says, hey girl, just thinking about you with a heart, miss you. I just realized she's probably texting that to everyone, copy paste. And every single time I get it, I go, oh, hey girl, how you doing?
Didn't we talk about that?
And then literally I'm like, she's thinking about me. And the other day I was like, so what are you doing? She's like, I'm in Vegas at a convention. I'm like, why are you texting me that? Oh, you got me again. So it works. People just like to think that you're thinking about them. It doesn't have to, I call them care calls, and they're more important than anything else. You can call people and be like, hey, do you know anyone who's looking to do some business? Or you just call them and say, how are you doing? I was thinking about you the other day. Hey, so how's life going, you know?
I think I got a perfect example. I reached out to
Yeah.
somebody from our church today and talked about his furniture business, and then I linked that to my real estate, and like,
Yeah.
we do the staging, and I'm gonna have buyers that need furniture. Let's link up.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what, I'm gonna be moving in a year, and I'm gonna need somebody in some property,
And I bet you didn't call him specifically to try to generate business. And even if you did, you had an authentic conversation that was like, how can I help you? And you can help me, and we can work together.
that was the key. Like, I wanted business, but it needed to be authentic. And people
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
And they can feel it when it's authentic. And it can be a text message, believe me, like throw some emojis on there. Be careful if you're guys, because emojis come off weird if you're guys, like sending hearts to people and stuff. I've had that backfire.
Oh
for
my
people
gosh,
that
you know
don't
how
do
often
that.
I delete emojis? Cause I'll like type the message and I'll read it and be like, on the recipient side, this is weird. So I
See, as
delete
a
it.
girl, we have a luxury. I can throw hearts and smiley faces and whatever,
Yeah.
balloons, and it doesn't come off weird. But with guys, it can, so
Yeah.
just be careful, very to the fact. But then if you're doing text messages, it can be a copy paste. Copy paste, copy paste. You could shoot out, if you're like, I only got 10 minutes to lead gen today. All right, let me text these 50 people really quick. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. And that may seem like, well, that's not authentic, but it can be once they respond to you. Because when they respond, now you're in a conversation. Now you can be like, I am happy you reached back out, you know? And then you can start talking. So don't think of it like lead gen. Think of just caring for your people, calling your people, pouring into them. How would you guys feel as agents? Because I equate my job, my clients is agents. You guys are my prospects. You guys are my clients that I have to keep happy. So how would it feel? I just have too many to call you guys all the time. I'm sorry. But how would it feel if like every couple of weeks I reached out, hey Vance, how you doing today? How's business going? You feeling good? You wouldn't be like, why is she bothering me again? You'd be like, oh, that's nice, you know, right? So your clients are going to be the same way. The worst thing you can do after getting someone through a purchase or sale, which is a highly emotional process for anyone because it's stressful. Then you don't call them, you don't check on them. It's like every day up until closing, hey, you got your stuff, you got your stuff. Then they close,
You get your
and then
money.
it's like, I'm out. And they don't hear from you until like a year later, and they're already mad at you by this point. People literally have called me and said, I was working with blah, blah, blah for so long, and I thought we were cool. And then like, they just dumped me. They never called me again. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'll tell them to call you. But that's the thing, they want to hear. So like, there's an agent at the other office that when she has a closing, she has a smart plan that says, okay, call them 2 weeks after, like call them the next day, call them 2 weeks after, call them 3 months after, right? Because when you move into a house, all of a sudden the second day you're like, I don't remember that's broken. And now she won't even call me anymore or blah, blah, blah. So when you do the check-ins, like, hey, is everything still going good? Oh, you have that issue? Hey, buddy,
Hey,
just coming for the food. Look at you.
Yeah, I am. I'm
So-
sorry. It sucks being the fat kid.
I hear you. So setting up those systems in your calendar that says, okay, anytime someone has a closing, we're gonna just put them on our calendar to call them at those time periods. Okay, so back to this. So we've got lead gen follow-up, and then we have a lunch. But wait, Josh, when did you have appointments available, and how many appointments are you doing a week if you were living your perfect life?
Yeah, so appointments were always after 1 o'clock was my appointment time. That was when I opened it up, and I did it between 1 and 6. And if I didn't have anything booked already that day, then I carried over office tasks.
Okay.
That was what I did. So I felt like my time was best spent in the office if I didn't already have something booked. So I would stay there and.
Any appointment you have, whether it be a buyer consult, listing presentation, or any of that stuff, usually should take about an hour. So I like to have 2 a day. I like to have 2 slots a day. Mine are 10 and 2. A lot of people do 2 and 4, 1 and 2, whatever your times are. Think of some people can do things on lunch break. A lot of people work from home. So they have a lot more flexibility in their schedules now. So not everything has to be in the evening, right? So I like 10 and 2. 1 and 4 is really common too. And then you could do a couple days a week where you do one at 6 o'clock for the people that work all day, right? And you just put an hour block on your calendar and you just call it available client appointment. So whether you have like Tuesdays, Thursdays at 6 o'clock, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I can do them at 10. You can set this up any way you want.
For how many hours?
1 hour.
So 1 to 2.
And you're gonna wanna give yourself a 45-minute to an hour period before that for appointment prep, right? How many times have you been like, oh my God, I gotta go to a CMA, I haven't even looked up the house yet. It's gonna happen to you guys someday, believe me. So you wanna make sure you give yourself a little window before your available appointments to A, drive somewhere, if you have to be there to drive. And B, to do a CMA, to get a buyer consult page printed out, whatever. So just be realistic with your times.
What
Yep.
color should we put?
Appointment prep time, blue, maybe, I don't know, whatever. So 2 appointments, at least a day on your calendar, and then appointment prep time. And then,
Oh,
so if you go into that. So he's putting those Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then you're gonna wanna do the same for your appointment. And I would make that one green too, because it leads to money.
Easier if I look at the computer.
Yeah. So set those up for every day, and then I would do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would do one at 6. And on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would probably throw another one after that. So now you've got 10 appointment slots on your calendar. So when you are lead genning and you have your email closed, but you have your calendar pulled up in front of you, okay? So your calendar's right there on the computer. You have your list of who you're calling, your lead genning, your email's closed, and you're like, hey, Vance, awesome. Let's pretend we had a conversation. And now I'm like, so awesome. I would love to come talk to you about listing your home at 123 Main Street. I'm available. He's just the one right in front of me every time.
His name is, I think you're confused.
Oh, you're not Vance. You're
No,
Sadiq.
how funny he keeps laughing. His name is Sadiq. Yeah.
Guys, correct me. I am
No one
honored.
wanted to, but we were like, oh.
I literally don't know
Hey,
anybody.
Hey,
I'm
but
sorry.
Vance is a capper and a top 30, so my boy is doing it. So that's, it's all good.
So wait, who's Vance then?
Vance is on Kristen Comstock team. He's got a lot more hair.
I have thought of you every time she said Vance.
The day that you would have met Vance would have been the day that we did like the KW Carries event, and that was also the day that you would have met him. Correct. And so we were all there. I could see the.
And I had here.
Yeah, actually he did, yeah.
Okay, so y'all are just messing with me then, because literally I met with Kristen Comstock this morning, hey, and she was like, yeah, so Vance, and I was picturing you. That's so fun. So when you walked in, I literally was like, oh, good, Vance is here.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm always gonna think you're Vance now. All right, so sorry about that. Siddiqui, right? Is that how you say it? Okay. I met you with Mandy when you were sitting with Mandy in the room. Okay, I'll figure this out, I promise. All right, so Siddiqui, we're talking, great. So I would love to come talk to you about listing your house at 123 Main Street. I have an availability Monday at 1:30 or Tuesday and Thursday at 6. Which ones work best for you? Tuesday at 6, excellent. I'm gonna send you a calendar invite and I'll confirm the appointment before I come see you. Great, blah, blah, blah. So rather than just saying, when would you like to meet? I am open for business all day, every day, just at your beck and call. You were very directive. You gave them slots that worked for you. Usually you want to give 2 to 3 options. Don't give them more than that. Because then they're like, I don't know, 2 to 3 max, right? So then you just go ahead and let's just pretend. I'll let him finish this. Now I feel like I want to look up a picture of Vance. So I'm like, Sadiq and I are meeting on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So I'm just gonna click, or 5 o'clock, let's pretend 5.
At 5
So as I'm on the phone with you, I'm just gonna click that open. I'm gonna just hit the edit button. And I'm gonna change the title to Siddiqui at 123 Main Street. What's up, baby girl? You
I've got
okay?
a career seminar,
at
people
3.
arriving, you may hold her off for.
Yeah, 10 minutes. We just have 10 minutes left. Thank you.
Sure, I'm finishing the folders practically.
It's a make it work kind of day, Amber.
Yeah.
We got this. Mandy got the flu. So she's like, this morning, she's like, can you do career seminar? Sure. As long as I get my hair cut, I can do anything. So, so then I'm gonna put down there and then I'm gonna put in any notes. So Siddiqui wants to sell his home. He wants to move in 6 months. So we're gonna find a blah, 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 anything I need to know. And now it's on my calendar and I can add his email address. So Siddiqui, what's your email address so I can make sure I have my records correct? Great, now you have his email and you put that right in here under invite guests, save it, everybody's good. And that is literally how you run your lead gen, just very focused. You're filling in your calendar right there. And then when you're done, of course, you just do all the follow-up that you said you were gonna do. And listen, every Sunday or Monday morning, I look at my week, I'm like, oh God, I double booked a few things because there's just so many people on my calendar and the kids' appointments change and whatever. So Sunday night or Monday morning, I go through and just move things around. This is not a fixed thing. Let's say, like today, when Mandy called me and said, hey, you got to cover for me at 3. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and move. Whoops. I'm just showing you tricks at this point. I'm just going to move this here because I can't do that anymore. It's going to pop up a window that says, edit this event only or edit this and all following events in this category. So if I wanted to change my appointment times from 4 every day to 3 and keep it that way, I would say this and following. If I want to change just that one day, I'm just going to say this event only, okay? So then I move that around. I'm going to move this one over here. This one, yep, now I can add in whatever I need to do for Mandy, right? So if you do that at the beginning of the week, it's okay to move the stuff around because you still have it on your calendar. Or like he was saying, if I don't get an appointment to fill that 1 to 6 or whatever, then I turn that into emails admin, right?
Admin time.
Yeah, because what we forget is like, okay, cool, we're getting all this business going, but there's gonna be some compliance, admin, follow-up, home inspections, random things that just pop on your calendar. So that's why it's so good to live by your calendar, because like, let's say I'm working with 3 people, someone calls me, they say, hey, we need to do our home inspection on Thursday, can we move it? Great, I have the choice because these are still open. I can change this out for home inspection. I can modify it. And now I know my day is fully planned. I'm not running around like, oh God, I forgot this and I have a home inspection. And, this helps you keep it focused, right? So it's just, you're just building a framework of your hours of operation and making sure that the activities that you need to do are in there. And then you can modify it as you see fit. It's not that hard, right? It's really quite simple. It just takes.
It's just doing it.
It's just doing it and then actually living it.
Yeah.
So if you guys are like, okay, I want to do this, I still don't know where to start, do a one-on-one with me because I'm really good at breaking down calendars, but all of you are going to have different lives and different needs and, so it's hard to do it for a group environment, but this is the exercise that you do.
Yeah.
What kind of questions do we have? And do any of you think you're going to do it?
Oh, they're gonna do it
Yeah, okay. Did it help at all?
for sure.
Does it make it seem less scary? Like literally when you guys start real estate, you go from not having a business to all of a sudden learning an entire industry in a minute, having a business, being a business owner for a lot of times the first time, and no one telling you what activities to do. So you're just like, I'm just gonna go to class all the time. And that means
Yes.
I am doing real estate.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work that way. You should come to class, but the thing is that you need to implement what you're
Yes.
coming to
Don't
class
be a
for.
shrimp eater.
Yeah.
That's what we call them, shrimp eaters, the ones that go to all the lunch and learns and eat all the shrimp and don't do.
What I
anything.
see with a lot of those people is the failure to launch. They're so busy just focusing on learning everything that they're not doing anything. When I started real estate, like I said, had 2 little kids. My husband didn't really want me working outside the house. Bad problem to have looking back on it now. No, I'm just joking. So moved from Oregon here, didn't know anybody, didn't know Tampa, threw a dart at a map because I was like, I hate the rain. I can't live out here anymore. Threw a dart, joined at Keller Williams, and literally had nowhere to start. They didn't have GPS yet. So I was like map questing to neighborhoods for showings. I'm like, I think I can get there. People
Oh my
were
God,
like,
I thought
"How's
you were
this
talking
work?"
about-
I'm like, it looks great.
I thought you were talking about KW GPS.
It was so bad.
Yeah, I didn't know you were.
So,
talking
yeah,
about that.
I'm old. So I had to get really creative about drumming up business. So I would go to the park with the kids and, just talking to strangers I'm good at, but if you ask people what they do, they will naturally ask what you do. Don't start it off with, I'm a realtor. Say, hey, your kid's so nice, this is awesome. We're kind of new to the area, so, you know, it's cool to see her playing with some friends, whatever. What do you do? Oh, you're a nurse? That's awesome, cool. And then you just pause a little bit and then they'll go, what do you do? I'm in real estate. I love it. The market's crazy right now. So yeah, we just bought a house and blah, 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 blah. And then they'll go, oh, well, yeah, we're thinking of moving. Like everybody wants to talk about real estate. We're all over the news right now, right? Everybody's like, what's going on with the market?
We're the only people that haven't laid anybody up
Right.
yet.
For Keller Williams. And then you can like literally just be authentic. Like there's such a great company. We do a lot in the community. I just love it. If you ever have questions about real estate, like just text me anytime. Here's my card. Call me anytime. Easy.
Yeah.
And you're not like being a sales pitch, right? Another great thing to do is I call all the local banks. Hey, do you have an in-house lender? Yeah, you do. Cool. Can I have them? They put me through. Hey, so I'm an agent in the area. Don't say you're new. They don't need to know that. I'm an agent in the area and I'm looking to build my affiliate partners. Can I have a meeting with you just to find out what products you offer? Yeah, come anytime. Because agents never prospect to them. They prospect to us. But how many people, the people you want to be working with, are like, I want to buy a house. We should go talk to a banker first. And they go get pre-qualified, and these guys have to give them to someone. And they're already pre-qualified. And they're
Actually,
the
that's
good,
really good.
responsible ones, right? Because they went to the bank first. So they're like, so you go and you meet them, and you're like, yeah, I just, I'm not happy with the lenders I've been working with. I'm just looking to grow my affiliates. And they're like, oh, okay, what products do you offer? Oh, boom, boom, boom. Whatever they said. That sounds great. Do you have any partners you work with? Because I'd love to send you some business. And they're like, I have some, but I'd love to send you business too. And then you do what you promise. You send them business and they send you business. I closed probably 7 deals my first year from that tactic alone. In home insurance and lenders.
Yeah. For
And
me,
it's free.
it's
It's free. They'll literally offer to take you to lunch. Oh, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna stop by for coffee, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'll come to your office and I'll just leave my cards everywhere. So that's one really good tactic. And I know Chase Bank had an in-house lender when I was doing it. What's up?
open houses for FISBOs.
Okay, open houses for FISBOs. We got 4 more minutes. So FISBOs, they're actually starting to take our calls again because, the houses aren't selling as fast as they were. Bummer. So it's funny how that happens. Builders and FISBOs will start being your friends again when the market turns and it's not a seller's market anymore. So now that FISBOs will take our calls, we say, hey, we've noticed the market's tightening up. It might be getting a little bit more difficult to sell your home. I consider it my job to know all the inventory in the area. And your house is part of the inventory, whether it's marketed with an agent or not. I would love to come tour your home in case it could be a great fit for the list of buyers I'm working with. And if you like the added marketing, I'd love to host an open house for you. No pressure, no problems. I just have the ability to market it to a bunch of agents and that will bring someone to your home. However, I will tell you, if I do secure you a buyer, would you be willing to pay me a commission? Only if I bring you a buyer. Oh, of course, great. Just sign this, just saying that you'd pay me if I brought you a buyer. I'm gonna do an open house for you and I'm gonna market it to all the 200 agents in my office.
Yeah, so this is a really great way. Remember, I put this up here real quick. It's the law of reciprocity, right? Which is what she's talking about. People are going to naturally want to give you something back when you do something for them. If you call a FISBO and just say, hey, I do open houses, I'm a realtor. All I want to do is work with the buyers that I meet at your open house. Can I just come in and do a free open house for you? You're giving something of value to them. And then you're opening up the door to have a conversation about listing the house.
You disarm them.
Yeah.
Look, I know a lot of realtors are calling you. I'm not trying to list your home. I work with buyers in the area and I have a laundry list of buyers that are looking for inventory. So I'd love to do 2 things. I'd love to see your home so I know the inventory for the buyers I'm working with. I'd also like to market your home to potential buyers. And if I can work with those buyers, hopefully we find one that wants your home. Also, there was FISBOs. What was the other thing you said?
Yeah, or doing open houses for
Open
FISBOs.
houses.
Yeah.
So last thing I'll say, open houses. If I'm gonna give up my weekend and not spend it with my baby, I am not gonna sit there and just wait for random people to come in a house. That is just not gonna fly for me. So signage is your #1 way to get people in an open house.
Say that again. What is it?
Signage,
Signage, signage,
open house.
signage.
I'm telling you guys, my background is marketing and graphic design. When I worked for multiple agents, we did a test. We had multiple open house extravaganza, and we marketed on Facebook, and we did ads, and we did this and this and this and this. And then we put out signs the day of, morning of, and every single person that came in, we said, can you tell us, we're just doing some research, what brought you to our open house today? Where did you hear about us? Oh, the sign. Oh, almost like 99%. All the other activities were a waste of time. Signage. Make it as easy as you can to get them to the door. I am an avid garage sale goer, and I'm like in for like 2 turns until I'm like, I'm lost. Their signage sucks. I'm out. It's the same thing with open houses. If I am on an easy path of open house to open house sign, oh, it's taking me right to the door, I'm in. If you make it confusing for me at all, I'm out. I have a short attention span.
Well, the other thing you gotta think about with